Hey y'all, it's the lady, and I'm back to share more life lessons with you. So I hope that you all are getting value out of this relationship series. If you are, please subscribe and hang out with us. You see, we're still on the ground floor, so just come and join us, and let's get these life lessons. So today we are going to continue on, as I said, with the relationship series, and I am talking to those who are interested in hearing my views and my relationship tips for online dating. So, obviously, clearly, we began with the fact that I'm talking to single people because married people should not be on the dating apps. Okay, hello. uh, but let's get into it. Now, before I get started, I realize that when I am in this particular setting, it can be a little bit noisy. Sometimes I have a lot of activity going on in terms of traffic. So hopefully that is not too bothersome, but I apologize if it is. I have my notes as usual. So let's get right into this online dating. First of all, let me just say that, again, in full transparency, I am not a fan. I am not a fan of online dating, and it really was not something I ever intended to do. Even after my divorce, before my divorce, like I just wasn't interested. And the reason why is because I just don't think I have the bandwidth, the personality, any of that for online dating. I traditionally have not even liked to watch like those type of shows where it's kind of this competitive dating type of environment, like The Bachelor, Flavor of Love, For the Love of Ray J, all that type of stuff. I've just never liked that type of thing. Now we have stuff like Love is Blind and all of that, where this kind of competition type of thing. I'm very much into organic connection. You know what you know, and you connect with who you connect with, and you just go for it from there. It's not this seesaw type of thing. With that being said, I decided to do online dating for the first time at, I believe it was March of last year, March of 2023. Okay. We're now in November, my God, of 2024. So I decided to get on one app. And the reason why I did it was, number one, I realized that I may have had a little bit of a pride about the situation. My stereotype in my mind from years past, like when online dating first started, was that people got on, dating apps or, internet dating. It might not have been a phone at the time, may have just been internet dating because they had a problem with meeting people in regular life. Well, that wasn't my story, nor is it my story now, but that was primarily what I had in my mind about why people would do that. Okay. Then it went into, as I said, I'm just not interested. I'm not attracted. Right. And then I realized that I my lifestyle has changed. So for many of us during the pandemic, well, not many, all of us, shut down, lockdown, things changed. Okay. And I started working remotely, which meant I wasn't out needing to be out in the streets as much as I had been before. And then I transitioned out of my corporate job. So I really work from home. I have a home office, etc. So it came to the point where I realized that I actually don't have as much opportunity to meet people as I have organically done in the past. So I could kind of see the value in something like online dating, but I still was skeptical and didn't want to do it. And I was kind of convinced and talked into doing it by a few different people that thought that I should. So, in the spirit of getting out of my comfort zone, I committed to doing one cycle on one dating app at the beginning of last year. And so that has been my only experience. I've only been on one dating app, so I'm not an expert, but I do have some thoughts, some tips, because I had a pretty decent experience on the app. Okay. So with that being said, Let's get into it. Number one, be clear on your why. I explained to you right now basically what my why was. I didn't have as many opportunity to meet different people, but I was also clear on I'm not going into this experience with, oh, I'm about to meet the love of my life. Oh, he's out there, he's on this dating app, I didn't go into it with that attitude. My goal was simply to expand my pool of meeting like-minded men and then see what happens from there. My goal was not my husband is on here and blah, 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 blah. No, I just wanted to meet good, like-minded men. Okay. So before you even get on the apps, or even if you're on there now, I would say think about those type of things. What are your goals? Do you just want companionship? Do you want a serious relationship? Because each one of the apps are different. So you put certain things on your profile in terms of what you're looking for. Okay. But you have to be clear within yourself first. Okay. That's what I would say. And have healthy expectations. Have healthy expectations. I think it's unhealthy to go into this type of experience with these just super, now the world is my is my playground, and I'm going to meet my person. You may not. There's different types of stories. So, you may or may not. Now, I will say, for those who are starting the online dating experience, for me, one of the things that I realized was that you can't treat a dating app like social media. So for social media, if someone leaves a comment or they say something to me on my page or they inbox me or whatever, I try to acknowledge their comment. I try to acknowledge their message or to respond to them, because I feel like it's kind of rude not to, unless I'm purposely ignoring the person. If that's the case, then, you probably need to block folks and all that kind of stuff. But I try to respond. With a dating app, if you reply, if you acknowledge a person's interaction with you, that is a signal to them that you're interested. You're interested in dating them or getting to know them, that you're interested. I didn't really get that concept when I first got on there. And so that was a major misstep for myself, because I'm just, like I said, I'm used to organic connections. I'm very comfortable with men. And so it's one of those things where, wow, I actually had a couple of people tell me, this is not a friendship app. This is a dating app. And oh, okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't realize that I probably should just not respond. And it feels hard because it feels rude, but you do not respond to people that you're not interested in getting to know, potentially in a romantic way. Okay. It can be a bit overwhelming when you start this process, because you do have, especially depending on who you are, the soundness and the how your profile is, the pictures, that everything. If you're an attractive person, it may be a little overwhelming. It may be a lot of people coming at you at once, and if you try to interact with everybody, oh my gosh, no, don't do it to yourself. Don't do it to yourself. And again, you have to keep in mind, be clear on your why and what your goal is. Okay. For me, my goal was to meet good men, good like-minded men. And yes, I was open to meeting someone that I could potentially see something serious with. Okay. I was open to that, but it wasn't my bottom line expectation, because let's go into number two. Be open to the possibilities, but stick to healthy expectations. Because if you don't, you may come off as desperate, as weird, or eventually bitter. Eventually bitter. There's a lot of people that are on dating apps that are bitter and jaded, and you can see it in their profile, how they express themselves in their profile. And that's because they've had certain experiences on there, and they've come in there with, like I said, these high expectations. Oh, I'm about to meet the love of my life. Or they meet people, they meet a person that they like, or multiple people that they like, and they start just going straight down that path, as opposed to trying to develop a friendship. I do believe that it is good to develop a friendship, but just the nature of a dating app, people on there want to date. They don't want to be your friend. They don't want to be your friend. And again, this was a lesson I had to learn, because how I typically operate in life. Everyone that you meet that is single, and you're single, does not mean that they are a prospect or somebody for you to date. Sometimes you meet good people, good solid people that you are attracted to as a person, but you don't necessarily want to date them or be with them in a romantic relationship. It's the same thing on the dating apps, except for, again, if you begin to interact with the person, and if you go out with them and all this kind of stuff, then the reality is that their bottom line most likely is to get in a relationship or have some type of romantic interlude with you. Okay. So yeah, keep your expectations intact, because or else it's it can come off a little weird. I'll tell this story. It happened actually more than one time, where when people recognize you as a quality, for me, as a quality woman, right? And that is refreshing to them. And they can see that you are potentially like the type of person that they would want to get in a relationship with. And especially if a man is at a point where he is ready to get married and he's on the dating apps kind of looking for his wife, it can get a little aggressive. And when I say that, I don't mean in a intimidating or like a bad way. I just mean that they are ready to snatch you up pretty quickly. They may move very fast. Okay. And for me personally, that's a red flag for me. It may not be anything wrong with them, but because of, like I said, I'm not used to the online dating world or whatever. In regular life, if somebody is moving too fast to me, that can be a red flag, because it's kind of like, slow down. You don't even know me yet. Now, yes, you can pick up certain things, but you really don't know me. I can be a good person, but maybe not a good person for you. I may be an amazing woman. I am, but I may not be an amazing woman for you, and you don't really know that yet. So I would say make sure that you, even when you meet people that you like, if you meet someone and you say, wow, this person is awesome, I can really see myself being with this person, I would encourage you to keep that to yourself for a little while. Don't the first 1, 2, even if because a lot of men, they do know very quickly, oh yeah, this, but you got to give the other person time to catch up, or they may feel the same way, but you still have to let that time factor go in. Get to know them. Be very intentional. You can communicate, hey, I really like you. That's okay. But trying to push into a quick monogamous committed relationship, we about to be walking down the aisle. I think that's too much too soon, and it can come off a little weird. It also can come off like anybody will do. I just want to be in love so badly that anybody will do. And you're a good one, so I'm going to snatch you up, and you haven't given yourself time to really get to know the person or allow them to get to know you. So please control that. Some of us are hopeless romantics. I get it. I have that side to me too, but I have kicked more into my logical side the more experiences that I have. So I don't just let that side of myself just run wild. Taper it, okay? Third one, use common sense. Use common sense. And I'm specifically talking about in terms of safety. For the most part, these are complete strangers. These are complete strangers. So don't put yourself out there in a way that would jeopardize your safety. Okay. I am not an advocate for putting your full name. I'm not an advocate for that. I'm also not an advocate for putting locations. I'm talking about specific locations. I'm not an advocate for that. Okay. Those specific details about yourself does not add to a person getting to know you as a person. That's something that after you vetted and they vetted you, you can begin to share those type of things. But I am also like, some people do the whole thing, let's exchange social media, and that's because they really want to get into the other person's business. Hello. No. The thing about it is that a lot of us put a lot of stuff out on social media, especially if we have like a closed page or whatever the case may be. You got a lot of information about yourself on there. I would not merge those two worlds so quickly. Okay. Some of y'all be real quick with wanting to exchange social media. I wouldn't do it. I would not do it. Slow down. Slow down, because what you want to do is make sure that this person is safe, sane. So having a little bit of skepticism is healthy, okay? I also am an advocate for using services like Google Voice, where you're not giving out your real cell phone number. You're using a temporary number that rings to your phone, again, in case you happen to encounter a crazy, okay? And I know people say, oh, you can just block the person, but just go ahead and use a Google Voice number and keep it pushing with that. As you get to know the person and you become more comfortable and you have kind of vetted them, then you can start to move into the, disclosing a little bit more. Now, what you should be completely honest about from the door, stuff like, if you've ever been married, do you have children? How many children? All of those things, don't play those type of games and like, well, I don't want everybody in my business. No, you're on a dating app. There's certain things that you need to be upfront with. That's, to me, first conversation type of information. First conversation, especially you meet a person on a dating app. Oh yeah, you know that what the deal is. Everybody know what we're here for, okay? Even if you are the type of person like me where I'm open to developing friendship first, the point is you still met the person on a dating app. So ultimately, you want to see if there is something there. So there's some basic information that you want to make sure. If you are separated and not divorced, which means you're still married. Some of y'all be acting brand new to the fact that separating does not mean that you are no longer married. How many people that we know that they got separated from their spouse and eventually they end up getting back together? Oh, this is one of their cycles. Every few years they break up and they get back together. Let's stop playing these type of games. Be honest. Be honest. I appreciate when people are straightforward about that. As a matter of fact, if you are a separated person and you're on a dating app, you should actually put that in your profile. Hey, transparency, I am separated, going through a divorce. So therefore, a person that engages with you, they already know that information coming in the door. Okay? It is not cool to be separated on a dating app where people are assuming, which we shouldn't, that you are a single person. Single means unmarried. Unmarried. I don't care how single you feel. If you are separated, you are still married. Okay? All right. Let's get into this really quickly. I said that you're primarily interacting with strangers, complete strangers. Now, the reality is that the world is small. You most likely will see some people that you know on the dating app, okay? What do you do when you come across a person's profile who you know in real life, in regular life, okay? And this person is somebody's ex that you know. This is real life, real talk. It's a person's ex. You met this person as a couple. You were cool with it. So for me as a woman, I know the wife and the husband. They went through a divorce. Now I see the husband on the dating app. Okay? For me personally, if I did not know this person prior to being a couple with the person that I'm cool with, like I was cool with his wife, his ex-wife, I knew them together, then for me, the way my girl code is set up, it's a swipe, whatever it is, swipe left, right, whatever. It's an X. It's a no. It's a no for me. If that gentleman reaches out to me on the dating app, it's a no for me. Why? When I see a person like that, and I know them only as the spouse or the man, the boyfriend, the fiance, whatever, of someone that I'm cool with, and I know they just broke up with the person or they just, they're divorced or whatever, I just personally don't feel comfortable with that because I still see them as attached to that other person. And also, I don't want the illusion of some type of funky stuff going on. Like, oh, was something going on while we were together? No. And I think I said before that I am not the type of person that if I am around a couple, I am not looking at this woman's man like, oh, I wish I had a man like that. Or, oh, if he wasn't with her. I'm not that type of woman. So now that he's not with her and this is a fresh thing, I'm not attracted. I don't want, even if he's an attractive person, it's nothing personal, but I don't want to even be involved. And I'm cool with the wife. What that look like? No. For me, that's just girl code. That's girl code. What do y'all think? How would you move? Now, I will say this. There are times that was the situation, okay? You knew them as a couple, you knew them together, there's a divorce, there's a breakup, and now we years down the road. It's a decade plus down the road, okay? And you run into the gentleman. You all reconnect. And there's an attraction, there's something there. Maybe that's different. Each person would have to determine that for themselves. For me, okay, maybe I will, see how I feel. Especially if me and we were just cool, they wasn't my best friend or something. I just, oh my God, me saying that I have a best friend in real life. I can't imagine doing that. I can't imagine. I don't care if they were to break up and it's 10 years down the road. No, because I will always see that attachment there. So, but you all let me know what you think about that. But that's just and that's something that you have to think about, because most likely you're gonna run into somebody you know. Okay, number 4, and I don't have that much, so this is not gonna be super long. Okay, number 4, let's talk about reading profiles. I feel like that I developed a really good strategy on reading profiles and analyzing profiles so that I nor the other person would waste our time. So for me, with the particular app that I was on, it would like if someone would reach out to me, I did, because I'm more of a traditional woman. It was mainly men reaching out to me and me responding, as opposed to me doing a lot of reach out. Maybe a couple of times, but for the most part, it was me responding to someone who has reached out to me. Okay. If someone reaches out, before I say anything, I'm going to the profile and I'm checking out the profile. Okay. I developed something for me based on what I'm looking for, my values, my, my temperament, my basic whatever, things that attract or, repel me. I will evaluate the profile based on that. So I would say that you should develop some type of system for yourself in terms of analyzing profiles. And it should be based on, going back to number 1, what are your goals? What is your why for even being on the dating app? For me, for instance, if I see someone who is younger than, at this point, 40 is pushing it. But if somebody's in their 20s, their 30s, which even though you set your age range on there, you'll still get other people coming through and sending you messages and all that kind of stuff, and that are not in your age range. If someone is younger than 40, I'm 50. I'm 50. I just don't see it. I don't see it. So I save myself time. I look at the age and I keep it pushing if they are not at a certain age. Okay. I don't even waste the time of going through the profile. It's okay. Okay. Same thing with faith. Okay. If faith is important to you and you have a specific, like, this is what I am, this is what I believe, and this is what I would want to connect with. If there's anybody that's outside of that, if they say they're atheist, agnostic, or whatever, it's a no. Don't even engage. Okay. It saves you time and your energy. Okay. Because it doesn't mean they're a bad person. It means these foundational things. And this is what I would say this was attractive to me about the dating apps. You can look at a profile and you can get some basic information about the person, all things being equal, that people are being honest, you can get the basic information. And if it's not a match, you don't even need to engage. You don't even need to engage. Okay. If you have on there that, okay, say for instance, someone has on there, they have children and they don't want children, and you know that you do, you don't have to engage. Don't engage. If you choose to engage because there's something else that's overwhelmingly attractive, then you need to probably address that pretty quickly and say, hey, I saw that you had that on your profile. Is that a hard decision? Meaning that it's a hard, I absolutely don't want anymore. Or it may be the flip side. Okay. A person wants children and you want to be open, fluid. You don't want pressure in that area. Because if someone says they're open to children versus I want children, that means that sounds more like a hard, like this is my desire. And if you are not on the same page, don't swipe. You need to swipe. You need to X, swipe, whatever. Don't engage. It saves you time. And this person is disclosing something about them. Don't ignore it, because if you interact with them, you're saying, I'm okay with everything that I saw on your profile. And if it's something that I wasn't okay with, but I still felt compelled to reach out anyway or to engage you anyway, I'm pretty much bringing that up in the first interactions, okay, when you're messaging, okay? Yeah, so be very clear about that. For me also, what people choose, the type of pictures or videos that they choose to put on their profile, that's a point of analyzation, okay? What we share about ourselves to strangers is it says something about us. So for me personally, if a man has, in every picture, he has a drink, he has a cigar, then I know what type of socialization he's on. If a man is not smiling in any of his pictures, then I'm looking at that, because that kind of tells something about this man, okay? If a man, he's in his 50s and he has 2 earrings in his ear, or 1 earring and it's a hoop or hanging down, he's telling you something about himself, okay? He's telling him something about himself, okay? Same thing, gentlemen, if there's a woman and in all of her pictures, she has cleavage and butt cheek hanging out, she's telling you something about herself, okay? She's telling you what she owns. If she has no makeup on and she just, she has natural hair and she doesn't have anything else on or whatever, she's telling you what type of woman that she is, because she chose to put that on her profile, okay? This is how she's presenting herself. If in every picture she has a pet, she's telling you, this pet is important to me. So if you don't like cats, if you don't like dogs, you need to swipe. You need to X, okay? If someone has in their on their profile, every picture it's them with their children, they're telling you what their priority is and what's important to them. That if you don't see yourself fitting into this scenario, you need to swipe. You need to X. Okay? So let's not ignore things. If you know, even if it's some of the kind of superficial stuff, because again, don't waste a person's time. If you are a woman and you have a hard height requirement, you want somebody that's 5'10" and above, 6 feet and above. Okay? This is the time where you don't reach out to the brother that's 5'5". I don't care what kind of car he has displayed on his profile. I don't care how, beautiful his face looks. If you know that he has on his profile that he is 5'5", and you know that you want someone 5'10", 6 feet and up, don't waste that brother time. Don't be out here okay. For those of you, and I'm specifically talking to women because, come on, these are the complaints. Some of you know you're not interested. Some of you know they don't have major things that you're looking for, and you're fronting that you're, you're interested, or whatever, and you're just looking to be taken out or get a free meal or a certain experience. You got your little list of places that you want to be taken to, and so you see, oh boy, okay, he got the means, I'm gonna go out with him even though I know I'm not really interested. Don't do that. Listen, you reap what you sow. You reap what you sow. Now, if you have a conversation and you're honest, like, listen, I just want to kick it. I'm not looking for, whatever. Let's, if you want to, have somebody to hang out with, I'm cool with doing that with you. Okay. So now they know you're not really interested in a relationship with them. But if they want a +1 for this or a +1 for that, if they just don't have nothing to do for the weekend and you're available, then okay. But my thing is just be honest. Be honest. Okay. Yeah. I could say more, but I won't. Okay. Be sure about your deal breakers. It is no different than in real life. And to me, this is also a plus of online dating. You don't have no skin in the game. It's not like you met somebody and you had this amazing 3-hour conversation after this event that you met them in, and you're already feeling some type of tie to them. And then you find out later that, these major deal breaker pieces. Okay. The benefit of online dating is you can look at some basics on the profile. If you don't want somebody that smokes weed or does drugs and they have that on their profile, swipe, X, whatever. Don't engage. You don't have to engage. That's the beauty of it. That is definitely the beautiful part about it. I don't even know whether I would like this person or not. It doesn't matter because I know I don't want someone that does that. So swipe. Okay. Here's the other thing. Last thing about profiles, I think. How a person expresses themselves, either in like voice prompts, when you hear their voice and they're speaking on a particular subject or whatever on their profile, or what they write in their profile. To me, this also gives you a peek into the person. If a person, and this is one of my things that I evaluate on profiles, okay, when I was active on it, I still have a profile out there, but I'm not subscribed to anything anymore because, like I said, I did it to get out of my comfort zone, and I did not subscribe again because I did what I said I was going to do, okay? But one of the things that is an evaluation point for me is if the person says anything negative about dating, relationships, or anything, actually, if they took the space and time on their profile to say something negative. Here's an example. If you, because this is how it sounds to me when I read this. If you want to just be pen pals and want to text over and over again, don't bother commenting on or sending me a message. If you don't actually want to meet up, if you're not serious about actually meeting up, don't bother leaving me a comment. Swipe X. To me, that's giving bitter Bob. That's giving bitter Bob. Jaded Jane. It's giving bitterness. Now, I get it. All of us have had, experiences that weren't the greatest because you're dealing with imperfect people, just like you are imperfect, okay? So yes, you're going to have some of the experiences might not be ideal. But if you have let it get to the point where now you're vomiting on unsuspecting people that's just coming across your profile, and you're like, if you don't, that's what I hear. That's how I hear it, like, don't even bother, blah, blah, blah. You're right. Swipe X. Ew. And as a woman, especially when I see that on a man's page, oh my God, I'm telling you, gentlemen, a lot of you all are constantly talking about bitter women. There's a lot of bitter men. There's some bitter Bobs out there. Some jaded Jameses. Oh, yeah. Don't be that person. Even if you've had a negative experience, don't put that on your profile. It is a bad reflection. And you call yourself kind of, like warding off people that's not serious or whatever, but what you're actually doing is warding off people that may be actually a good, fit for you, but you've turned them off by putting something negative. Also, people that put stuff on their profile about, if you're this, don't even bother. If you da 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 da, all of that, it's like, even if I'm not that, swipe, I don't like the energy. So stay away from negative statements. Stay away from statements that are, giving space and a peek into the fact that you've been wounded relationally in some type of way. That actually means that you're not healed. You need to go somewhere and heal. Okay? Nobody want to be bothered with that. Here's the other flip side of that. It is a red flag for me personally if I see a man's profile and he is overly saying lovey stuff, okay? And when I say that, it can be overtly sexual. Like every time they say, what's your love language? And it's always, something to do with physical touch. Oh, I liked, physical touch, kissing, whatever, or, other innuendos like that. To me, that speaks to he's more focused on the physical. He's kind of letting you know that if you come over here, this is what I'm on. Okay. So for me, that's a turnoff. Okay. For me, that's a turnoff. Also, if a person is too, I want to find the love of my life, I'm looking for the love of my life, and they go into some very specific things on there, or they're, this year I'm going to this, that, the other, my, love, 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 love. For me, that is a red flag, because it feels like it gives a little bit of desperation. I have to be honest with you. And that may be unfair, but it makes it seem like that, again, anybody will do. If you reach out to me, I'm so desperate to be in love. I'm so wanting to be in the matching pajamas for the holidays. Anybody, can you fit this size medium? If you can fit the size medium, you good. Let's go. Do you have a passport? Okay, as long as you got a passport and you can fit the size medium, let's go. Because I'm not gonna be alone this Christmas. So that means anybody will do, as long as you fit in these basic little things. And for me, no. If you are a person that if you are really being intentional about your dating, and you're using online dating as one of the avenues to potentially meet that special person, you have to look at certain things, because it may foreshadow a problem going down the road. These are the people that they're hot on you. They're hot. And then when they get other activity going, then they disappear until that activity dies down, and here they come circling back. And I will warn you, that is kind of the nature of online dating, because there are so many options for men and women. Fellas, I hope you understand that. Women, especially if it's a quality woman, she got a lot of options, okay? And it can be overwhelming, and people have to balance that and also be honest along the way. That's all you can really ask for and do, and be, is honest. Okay. I made a few missteps at the beginning, because I didn't know what I was doing, and starting too many conversations, because again, I didn't know I shouldn't be responding to everyone, treating it like social media. And there was, some hurt feelings that ended up, happening, but I committed to being honest and clearly communicating with people. I have I have had more than one discussion, whether it's directly or via messaging or text message or whatever, where I was like, you know what? I want to be honest. This, I think you're at a different place than I am in terms of you're very sure already about me and I am not about you. So I don't want to waste your time. So let's just, I want to say let's just be friends, but they don't want to be your friend. If they like you like that, they're on a dating app, they met you on a dating app, they don't want to be your friend. I didn't even know nothing about the unmatching feature until folks start unmatching after I had the conversation with them. I'm like, I'm just trying to be honest. I'm open. You're cool. I'm open to being friends. They don't want to be your friend. So don't get your feelings hurt if that happens. Just understand this is the nature of the situation. Okay. The last thing that I would say is, and ties into something I said earlier, is take it in stages. Pace yourself, okay? If you see someone or someone reaches out to you or whatever, you see someone that you're interested in, take it in stages. Don't run all the way down the road just because, whatever. Just pace yourself, meaning that message, okay? See how within the app, see how the conversation goes with that. And that doesn't have to be a long drawn out thing. But if the conversation and messaging goes well, then you can take it up to let's have a phone conversation or even a video chat. If you are video chatting a person and because, catfishing is real, okay, you want to make sure that you're really actually talking to the person that is presented on the profile. There's nothing wrong with that. But let me add this. You come off as creepy and superficial if you overdo the video chatting thing. What do I mean by that? I had a gentleman that was insistent that after we had messaged back and forth, he was insistent on us video chatting. And I was like, okay, well, when I get to a stabilized place, then fine. But he was just pushing it, okay? And I guess he had been catfished. But not just the catfishing part. He wanted to see my physical body. This man, and I obliged him because I knew I wasn't going to talk to him anymore. I didn't like how that made me feel. So he actually, we video chatted because he insisted. And then he asked me he was like, well, can you stand up and stand back? He wanted to see my whole body. Okay. Can you stand back? See how I'm, and he did it. He showed how he was because of course he was in shape and but he wanted to make sure that I was as I presented on my pictures. And I said, oh, so you want an auction block? No. I just think it's only fair because if we had met in person, then I would have seen your whole, body. I would have seen how you look like from head to toe. So, I think it's only fair. I said, no problem. I stood back. He was like, okay, good. And then he wanted to make sure now he was satisfied and he wanted to go on a date. He wanted to go meet in person and I declined. Balance your experiences. If you have been catfished, I understand that you have to put certain things in place, maybe to avoid that happening again. But if you overdo something, you come off as extremely superficial. And for someone that is a solid person, that's not catfishing and that's not superficial, that will be the end of that. I'm not even interested in going out with it. There's been plenty of times, no, thank you. If the conversation, so that be again, messaging goes well, you can go up to phone call, video chat. If that goes well, the energy, the conflict, whatever, it's still going well, then sure, it's cool to meet the person in person. However, there's no having somebody pick you up. You don't know these people. You meet them at the location. Please, for the love of cheese, do not, especially out of you wanting to be nosy, or I want to see what they drive. I want, whatever. I don't feel like driving. I don't feel like parking. No, for your own safety. You meet the person. You don't know them. I don't care how well the conversations have been going. You meet them at the public place. Nobody's house. Nobody coming to your house. That should not be happening for a minute. Okay? There's too many stories out there of, crazies. Things going wrong. And that's for men and women. Men, y'all have to be with. There's some crazy women out here too that will stalk your behind. Okay? So be conscious of these type of things. Okay? So take it in stages, take it in steps. Be open to the possibilities, but don't have your, this is about to be, I'm about to find my person. Maybe, maybe not. But enjoy the process. Enjoy meeting some great people that actually just have the same goal. They just want to meet some good, like-minded people, and potentially something more can come out of it. But if it's not, you met a great person, you had a great time, and you had a great conversation. Okay? All right. I hope that helps. Once again, please subscribe. Please join in on these life lessons. And I definitely want to hear your thoughts, especially if you made it to the end of this video. Please share your thoughts, your comments, anything else you would say about online dating. Have you ever online dated? And what do you think about it? For, against? Yeah. Bye.